The future of Healthy Emmie. Let's talk about it. With potatoes, of course. The John Mayer of potatoes. How does nature do it? Hello, my honeys. If you're new here, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, the creator of the Slim on Starch program, a weight loss specialist. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about what is upcoming for this channel, for Healthy Emmie, for the future. If you didn't see my last video, my life update video, I started what is going to be named something a little bit more elegant and classy in the future, but we're currently calling Tater Talks, where I sit with my potatoes every week. I'm going to have a different cooking method for sweet potatoes with different types of sweet potatoes. I'm going to be rating that cooking method on a scale of 1 to 10, and we are going to chat about things lifestyle. I'm using these Tater Talks as an opportunity for me to explore the next pillar of Healthy Emmie that I am going to be adding on to the current Healthy Emmie structure, which is my passion for lifestyle. I talk all about that in the life update video, so I won't go into depth about that again and bore you to death. Instead, we are going to be looking forward and we are going to be planning together. Let's get into the potatoes. So today we are featuring the Okinawan sweet potatoes. I went to the Asian market and got me some of they're called Hawaiian, they're called Okinawan, they're the same things. They're beige on the outside and they're purple on the inside. If you have an Asian market near you, I highly recommend that you try to get your hands on these guys. And so how I cooked these time around was I did the low and slow process. So I washed them, I cut off the ends, I put them on parchment paper, and I put them in the oven at 250 because I know that if you cook them at 250 for about 3 to 4 hours, the low and slow process makes them super sugary and sweet and caramelized. So I decided to do that. It had been 3 hours. It didn't seem like too many things were happening. So I did crank up the heat to 300. Now, I will say this, with the smaller potatoes, it appears as though they've gotten nice and gooey, but the larger potatoes do seem dry. So this is seeming to be a bit drier than anticipated. I will say every potato seems to be a little bit different, but for the most part, this is looking to be drier. I did put them in the fridge overnight. Of course, I always put my sweet potatoes in the fridge overnight so that they can create a resistant starch, not for health purposes, for taste purposes. They get so sweet when you put them in the fridge overnight and you have them the next day. So these were in the fridge overnight. I do like my Hawaiian sweet potatoes to be really gooey and sweet and deep. There's a lot of depth to the sweetness and it's just so beyond delicious. So these are looking to be dry, which I'm surprised by. I thought that this would make them nice and gooey, but we'll see once I do the taste test. This is my first meal of the day, so I am going to make sure to meditate. So I'm going to do my meditation right now. All right, the time has come for the taste test. I haven't heated these up. I might heat them up, but for right now, I'm just going to have one straight out of the fridge. I'm of course going to add some cinnamon. So let me give you a little close up. So funny because I actually was looking at the inside of another one, which appeared to be a deeper purple. It appears as though the larger ones, I'm seeing that the larger potatoes tend to be, from this cooking method, tend to be a bit more dried out, whereas the smaller ones tend to be a bit more gooey. So let's see. It's absolutely delicious. And to be honest with you, you know what it tastes like? When I was a kid, one of my favorite foods was the Drake's coffee cakes. I love bread, carbs, starchy. I've always been a starch girl and I love cinnamon. Those have been my go-tos. And I'm telling you, when they're a bit dry, when they dry out, and these have dried out a little bit, but it's not the dryness of when you microwave a potato, it loses its moisture and its sweetness. So I don't like to microwave these because then they're not sweet anymore. Whereas when you do this method, it keeps that dry breadiness. So it really is sort of like cake right now. It has that dense it takes a while to chew through it. Whereas when you have something like a Japanese sweet potato that's a little bit more wet and sort of dissolves on the tongue, a bit more caramelized, however you say it, this is more dense and bready, and it tastes exactly like a Drake's coffee cake. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. So what would I rate it? Ooh, that's tough because I think for me personally, it's definitely, I think last week's were better because the flavor was more intense with the gooiness. Yeah, okay. When it's gooey and crystallized and really such an intense flavor, it's just such a burst that it's awesome. This is equally as enjoyable, but in a different way. So I feel bad bringing it down to, an 8. I'd say this is probably an 8. But what feels off to me about that is I love so much that it literally replaces a coffee cake for me. Like if somebody offered me a piece of coffee cake or this, 1,000 times out of 1,000 I would take this because A, it tastes exactly the same, and B, you feel amazing after. This is this is what gets me so excited and passionate about this lifestyle, and particularly for me, it's sweet potatoes, is I feel like I've won the lottery. I really feel like I have cracked the code. This is incredible that I get to eat something that I'm getting crumbs everywhere. And the cleaning ladies just came yesterday. I need them to come after my tater talks. I feel as though I have won the lottery, that I am so lucky that I get to eat something so delicious that is also literally the healthiest food on the planet. That's such a win. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. I was not born this way. This is because I exclusively eat these foods and I've retrained my brain so that it's now calibrated to appreciate the taste of whole, real, natural food. Which actually makes me think of, I'll hear people say to me, Emmie, I see how you are about your sweet potatoes. I'll just never get there. Well, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And with that kind of attitude, it's going to be tough. The only thing stopping you is you. You're the one that's putting that barrier in place for you. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. Today we're talking about the future of Healthy Emmie. So I thought it would be super fun to use this tater talk to plan out some of the future lifestyle videos and tater talks that I will be doing on this channel. My weight loss content is staying intact. I'm wrapping up year 5 of the Slim on Starch program, which is a program that I'm so proud of and I'm going to continue on because it is so fulfilling. I have the best job in the world. I love the Slim on Starch program. That is staying intact. And because it is so solid, it is so intact, I can now expand into adding more content and more videos onto my YouTube channel about my passion of lifestyle. So we're going to plan that today. Got my laptop, got my potatoes. I have everything I need. It's funny too because I'm thinking, I need a plan. But now that I sit down and just start talking, and I don't even have to think, it goes somewhere. But I do like to have structure. And also I think what might be fun is if on the current tater talk or the current lifestyle video, you tell me what you want the next one to be. Okay, should we start with lifestyle? What lifestyle videos I want to do? All right, how I organize my calendar and plan my week. I am a big, big planner. And if something is not on my Google Calendar, it simply does not exist. I organize absolutely everything. I plan for everything. I color code it. I color coordinate it. I live by my Google Calendar. And so I would love to show you how I organize and plan each week. What I would love for you to do while I'm talking about these is leave comments of the ones that you really love. And then the ones that get the most comments. So if I see the most comments saying, how you organize your calendar, that's the one that I'll do next. Next, my Sunday reset routine. Something else about these tater talks, which by the way, the tater talks in the future are going to be way more casual. But I have a question for you. Mukbangs are usually unedited, so people don't edit out them chewing. But the reason why I feel bad not doing it is because I'm sitting and chewing for such a long time that it could be annoying for you. But I know that people like to watch people eat. funny as it sounds. So leave a comment. And if you want the tater talk to be unedited, then I will just sit here. I will sit here, eat, and talk. And I won't edit it. Sunday reset routine. Sundays, oh, how I love a Sunday. How I love a Sunday, I can't even tell you. Sundays are my day. I do not to get into it too much, but I gotta fix the lighting again. This is what's tough, is the lighting changes so much, especially when I film at this time of day. How I love my Sundays. I do my bed sheets and I clean and I get everything all ready for the week. Oh, it is the best feeling. I love my Sundays. They are so sacred to me. So, Sunday reset routine. I kind of want to heat these up. I want to try the gooey one. This one was oozing. This was oozing yesterday, but now it appears to be dried out. Oh, no, it looks gooey. Wow. That one looks good. Let's see if it is. I'm going to try a bite of this naked without cinnamon. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. Okay. This is what's crazy. These are two potatoes from the same box. These are the potato I just ate and this potato. Got them together, cooked them exactly the same, and they taste totally different. This one tastes exactly like a medjool date. I was truly just transported back to my study abroad in London where I ate medjool dates up the wazoo. This tastes exactly like a medjool date. Whereas the one I just had tasted like a coffee cake. When they come out like this, 9 out of 10. The coffee cake, 8 out of 10. Wow. Next up, my skincare routine. Clean, cruelty-free, natural. One of my clients introduced me to, Janaea, she introduced me to Japanese skincare. And I only use all natural Japanese skincare, which is because what I learned is that those from Japanese descent have more sensitive skin and thus don't want to use harsh chemicals on their skin. So I'm in love with my skincare routine. I got my boyfriend on it. I got my mom on it. You know what? People are saying Healthy Mummy is just glowing more and more and more as the days go on. She says it's because of the B12 supplement, my B12 supplement. My hand to God, she says that. And she says that to me behind closed doors. She doesn't even say it on videos. She's like, I swear to you, Em, the B12 supplement has changed my skin complexion so much. That's just her words, not mine. But also, she's on my skincare ritual too. So we'll be sharing that. Wow, this one is insanely good. Isn't that so crazy? How the same potatoes that grew right next to each other can taste different. It's like how twins can come out. Me and my brother, I'm not a twin, but my brothers and I have 2 older brothers. We could not be more different. Nature versus nurture with potatoes. So good. The next one I get a ton of requests for, my clean and glowing makeup routine. I only use cruelty-free products, so nothing that was tested on animals. And one of my goals for 2023, which you can tell me if I've achieved it, was to develop a makeup routine that when I do wear makeup, gives a nice glow to it. I really only wear makeup when I film, honestly. I don't really wear makeup other than that. Even when I'm like going out, I just prefer to put on sunscreen. But yes, I will happily share this makeup routine that I use for filming. Ooh, the next one I'm so excited about. Okay. My monthly reading wrap up and my monthly TBR. I have been so passionate about reading recently, and I can talk about this in the lifestyle video. This is where, do I make this one a tater talk? Because the books that I'm going to be talking about are going to be romance novels. They are not going to be what you may anticipate from the Healthy Emmie channel. But I want to do it. And I'm not going to lay on my deathbed however many years from now, not having explored what that could have looked like for me. And this is where I think, do I need to make a new channel entirely? But we'll just see how it goes. And if it kills my channel, I'll just make a new one and talk about reading on that one. But yeah, everything that I am reading that month or I read that month, and then everything that I want to read as well. So interesting because I'm eating another one that was the same exact size as the incredible one I just had, but this one is dry. It's so funny. Either way, it's delicious. A video that did very well on my channel and was so well received was my capsule wardrobe video. So I would love to do a capsule wardrobe staple pieces video so that I can show you what staple pieces you should have for maybe fall and winter so that you can mix and match a plethora of permutations, spoken as the math teacher, of different outfits, different combinations of outfits. And I can link to Amazon links so that you can buy them as well. Put some cinnamon on. Cinnamon on the drier ones, no cinnamon on the gooey ones. The taste really brings me back to my childhood eating coffee cake, or Drake's coffee cakes. Also in that same vein, capsule wardrobe outfit ideas and tips showing you how to create outfits using your capsule wardrobe. I love fashion. When I was a youngin', I wanted to be a fashion designer when I grew up. I also could do some thrift store hauls. Would you be interested in that? Those are so, so fun. I love shopping at the thrift store. It's a fun hunt when you find something great to bring new life to a piece, to know that this piece had life before it. And it's environmentally sound too, which is nice. Another one I wrote down was minimalism for beginners, 10 tips to get started. So I love minimalism, and I would love to hear, in the world of minimalism, what is it that you need more help and guidance with? I think I'm going to heat up these potatoes. We're back. Wow, look at the color of this one. So beautiful. Smells like what dreams are made of. What I do like about this cooking method is that it's really filling because they take a while to chew through. They take a while to chew dense and thick. Cook something like a ham yam or a Japanese sweet potato. If it gets really gooey, it dissolves on your tongue and it's not as filling. So this cooking method makes it a bit more starchy and dry, which I find to be very filling. So we have one pillar of Healthy Emmie. It's so funny to say Healthy Emmie in the third person. Just bear with me. We have one pillar of Healthy Emmie, which is weight loss, slim on starch, whole food plant-based, very much focused on nutrition. That is staying intact. Absolutely. The next pillar, lifestyle, which we have just gone over the future videos for. Before I was Healthy Emmie on YouTube, I was East Coast Emily. Has anybody been around that long? Yeah. I was making lifestyle videos because I loved it. I started making lifestyle videos on YouTube in high school. I started making lifestyle videos on YouTube how many years ago? I think I was 15 when I started, 28 now, so 13 years ago. That's how much I love it. Oh, that is my primary food. Lifestyle YouTube content. People ask me, what food people do you follow on YouTube that eat this way? And I actually don't consume content about eating this way, because eating this way for me, the way that I consume content to stay up to date is I read scholarly journals and I read the literature and I read new studies. So I stay up to date in that sense, in a very research-driven sense. In terms of influencers that eat this way, I don't watch, that's not what I consume content-wise for enjoyment. I love lifestyle. I love reset routines and vlogs and day in my life and fashion. Ooh, homemaking. I cannot even tell you how much I love that. That's always been the thing that I've loved on YouTube. And so I'm just so excited about this new pillar. For anything that I've just named video-wise, please tell me which ones you want, and please tell me additional lifestyle videos that you want within that pillar. The next pillar are the tater talks. So the tater talks, we know, I already talked about. I've written down some ideas of topics that I can talk about. And it's funny because as I sit down and I start to talk, I realize I don't even have to plan this. I could just sit down and talk. But I do need to make sure that the title of the video is intriguing in one way or another. So let's go over them. The titles of the tater talks, I like those to be all lowercase. I just like the aesthetic of it. I like that the thumbnail will not have any words on it. That's the aesthetic I want for the tater talks. Lifestyle, the titles will be capitalized. The thumbnails, some will have words, some won't. Like my skincare routine and my makeup routine, that thumbnail will not have words on it. But something like how I organize my calendar, I probably would put words with that. This is probably not going to be my go-to cooking method just because the intensity of the flavor from the Hawaiian sweet potatoes can be so deep. I can't find another word. It's so extensive, the experience that you have from a taste perspective when it's a bit more gooey and wet, which is funny because I usually prefer food to be like this and drier. But there's something about the taste of these when it's gooey. It reminds me of my Jewel dates. It's just so good. So I probably won't cook them like this again. Also because my oven was on for like 4 hours. All right, delving into pillar 3, tater talks. Right now we're doing the future of Healthy Emmie. The voice inside my head. I think that this is a really sexy, intriguing title. People will be like, what? I'm going to click that video. What I'm going to talk about in that video is how we are the observer of our thoughts. We are not the thinker. We are the observer of the thinker. This is very a la Eckhart Tolle, a la Michael Singer. These men are great mentors of mine that I've learned a lot from with their books and their lectures. My mom and I went and saw Eckhart Tolle in person. And so I want to talk about in depth. I could go on and on, and I'm not going to right now. I need to cut myself off. The voice inside our head. That's all I'm going to talk about. Quotes that changed my life. I love quotes. I'm such a quotes girl. I quote quotes all day long. And my clients know this because I say them all the time. And the quotes they're written on the inside of my eyelids. That's how I memorize them and how I know them by heart. But quotes can be so impactful, and you can hear something that can just stay with you. So I'm going to go through my favorite quotes. By the way, these are all subject to what you want. So if I say something, you want it, you need to comment it, because the ones that have the most comments are the ones that I will do sooner. Getting through hard times. Exactly what it sounds like. My advice on how to navigate the tough parts of life. The parts of life that you say, how is this part of the human experience? I remember my first brush with grief. I remember thinking to myself, I said aloud, how am I expected to go on and just go about the day to day when internally I'm struggling with grief? How does one show up? And the person I was talking to said back to me that they said that's exactly what grief is. That life goes on. You have to continue operating in society while battling internally, missing somebody that you loved so much. So I'm not going to talk about grief in that video. I'm going to talk about how to get through the hard times of life. Books that changed my life. There really aren't that many on this list, to be honest with you. I don't have an extensive list of self-help books. I have read some really impactful books, and something I once heard that has stuck with me is you're better off reading the same book 10 times than you are reading 10 different books. So I have, 4 quarters with self-help books as opposed to 100 pennies. So I'll be talking about books that changed my life, if you want it. I won't do it unless I get comments for it. Or maybe I will. My primary foods, duh. Primary foods, we talk about these all the time in the Slim on Starch program. These are the things that nourish your soul. They're not this. This is not a primary food. This is a primary food. Primary foods are not the foods that you eat. They're not the foods on your plate. They are the hobbies, activities, relationships that nourish your soul. So a video all about what primary foods I like to do. Caring about what other people think, huge issue for so many. And a debilitating reality for many that inhibits many people from living the life that they want to and promotes people getting to the end of their lives with massive regret because they did not do exactly what it was that they wanted to do, because they let other people's opinions keep them small. So we're going to talk about that. Mindful eating. Ooh, this one's going to be so fun. I'm going to sit with my taters during a tater talk, and it's going to be a mindful eating session where you can sit down and eat with me and we can eat mindfully together. And I can talk about how to do that. I'm actually currently recording a what I eat in the day video today, what I'm eating today. And these potatoes are one of the things that I'm eating. And I want to say this, because I got a lot of questions on my last video. How many potatoes did you eat? And I comment back, I'm like, just count. I don't know, to count in the video. I videotape myself eating everything. Please do not compare the amount that I eat to the amount that you eat. We are two completely different people, and you have to learn how to trust your hunger fullness cues in your body. How much I eat is not going to tell you what your hunger fullness cues are. You can't get around the fact that you have to learn how to trust yourself, trust your body, and read your hunger fullness cues. Going based on how much I eat is not a hack to you having to conquer that skill. It's a big thing that I work on in the Slim on Starch program, is honing in on those hunger fullness cues and also just rebuilding trust with yourself and trusting your body's wisdom and intuition. So what I do is I bake up a bunch and then I eat until I'm satisfied, until I don't feel that I need any more in this moment, knowing that I could have more later on. They're not going anywhere. They're only going to go in my stomach at some point. So I eat until I feel that I've had enough, and that amount will change day to day. Yum. Perspective shifts. So you know how sometimes there's a saying, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And there are a few quotes that I love, and maybe this will be one of the ones in the quotes video, so here's a little sneak peek. Well, actually, I won't give away the quote yet, but I will give away the idea behind it, which is, I saw this cartoon once, and I wish I could find it. Maybe I can. It's this little cartoon man, and he's sad because he says, no one cares about me. And he goes, wait a minute. Nobody cares about me. This is great. I can go do whatever the heck I want. So it's the same principle, but when you bring a different energy to it, your perspective completely changes. You could look at it as nobody cares about you, so why even try? Who cares? What's the point of life? Blah, blah, blah. Or you could say, wait a minute. If people don't really care about me all that much, then why am I so wrapped up in their judgment? Why don't I just go do whatever makes me happy at the end of the day? We got to get another gooey one, folks. This one's going to taste like a medjool date. So on the gooey ones, I'm not going to add cinnamon. That's the stuff. When it's gooey, it's a 9. It's a 9. I've got to go to Japan because their street food is sweet potatoes. Honeys, come on. Could you imagine walking down the street, instead of hot dogs, it's sweet potatoes? I really should go. I will message random accounts on Instagram of people that post, and they're usually Japanese people, and their whole profile is in Japanese. You can click translate, which is like the incredible nature of the internet. Do I have something on there? And I read about how they cook their sweet potatoes, but I'll DM them and I'll be like, how did you cook this sweet potato? So good. If they all cooked like this, I would have rated this batch a 9. I am going to get into the points, like a 9.5, like a 7.4. As this evolves, my scale will evolve as well. This one feels a little bit more, nope, dry. Let's put some cinnamon on. Right now, I actually have some sweet potatoes in the oven. Some Japanese sweet potatoes. I'm trying out a new cooking method for those. So it's funny because I want to have all of this structure with my videos because I don't want to sit down and be like, what do I talk about? But the second I sit down and I start going about the sweet potatoes, it always leads into something else. Would you like if I sat down and I literally talked about whatever came to my mind? Because it could be so random. Like if I had literally talked about the most random things, I could tell you what I'm doing this weekend, what I did last night. We had book club last night. The book was None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I don't love thrillers. For me, the reason why I've fallen so in love with reading recently is because of the feel-good feeling that I get when I'm reading something. And I love reading these romance novels. I love the childhood friends to lovers trope. I love the second chance romance trope. I love those. Oh, and it just gives me the warm and fuzzies. When I was reading this thriller for book club, in my book club, they love thrillers. It's like thriller after thriller after thriller. So I actually chose the next book that we're reading, which is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. But I read this book for the book club, and I read it on Sunday of last week. And I read it all in one day because I wanted to get it over with. It was super intriguing, but it made me sick to my stomach. And I was like, I do not like the energy that I'm getting while reading this. And I just need to read it to be done with it so that I can talk about it at book club. Whereas I do understand some people may read for the purpose of getting a thrill. That's not why I read, though. What kind of books do you like to read? Who are your favorite authors? I love contemporary romances. I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this because reading is so individual. I like something different from you. That's what's so cool about reading. There's millions of books, all these different genres, and you can find what really resonates with you. So if I don't like something, my energy just at this time in my life isn't there right now. Maybe it will be in the future, but I get a lot of recommendations, especially from my mom, who I love. I love you, Healthy Mommy, but she loves historical fiction. I do not prefer it. So I don't love historical fiction, even if it's romance. It's just not for me. I love Ellen Hildebrand. I'm currently reading a Christina Lauren novel that I love. Okay, enough about reading. We're going to close up the tater talk here. Leave a comment. What videos do you want next? What other videos do you want? Thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey with me. This is so fun. I love these tater talks. They light me up. I adore all of you, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah!